Hey guys, Jake from Wttl Legacy. Welcome to week 4.
Number 4, episode 4. Pumped.
So, thanks for joining in. And this week we've got a few good topics to go over. So I'm going to touch on just getting ready for holidays. I've got a few clients getting ready for holidays at the moment, and we just want to talk about how to get ready for them.
Yeah.
And we're also I'm going to go over what meals I have on me now, just because I didn't have time to prep meals last night or this morning. I've been super rushed, so just put something together. Literally it'll take me sort of 2 minutes to put together, and I'll show you what I'm going to have today. So, and then Adam's going to touch on.
I'll touch on. This is a big one. Again, the good thing about the weekly wraps is we get to cover certain things that we experience during the week. Mental toughness. That's a huge one. Not only Jake and I have had to experience over the period of the last few years, but in particular people who are really held back by their lack of ability to tap into the next level mental toughness. I really wanted to touch on that. And also what happens after a challenge. Now obviously you see so much now, January, February, this is the time you see these 6, 8, 4-week challenges, 10-week challenges. What happens after that? What happens with your body? You can't just keep waiting for the next challenge in between or go on a binge. So I'm gonna touch on some really cool things as far as that's concerned. So looking forward to sharing some knowledge with you with that topic.
Yeah, cool, that sounds good. We'll start off what we did the last 7 days actually. So how's your training and nutrition been?
Yeah,
Australia Day as well in the mix there.
Australia Day. Now this was weekly wrap 3. We sort of touched on. We both went option 2. I think I was option 2 with that. Look, I'll be 100% honest. I might have had a few more beverages than what I thought. Food was good. I probably had a few more beverages than what I had banked there, so I was in a little bit of damage control for a day or two. Check-ins, look, I wasn't expecting miracles, and I know that obviously if I've overindulged or had some sort of event like that, not to get down on myself, because I mean, what am I going to expect? A weight drop and dropping body fat after what we did Australia Day. So my macros stayed the same: 500 carbs, 280 protein, and 90 to 100 fats. Training's been great, and Jake and I'll touch on what we just did today as well. What about yours, buddy?
Yeah, Australia Day actually, I just went out for a bit Thursday night. So food and everything was perfect. Yeah, probably a couple extra drinks, and then obviously measurements went up a little bit for Friday morning, and then coming from this morning, back to where it should be.
Back to where.
So training's been really good as well, and then it was nice to train with you this morning just to make sure the intensity's been where it should be.
Yeah, so me, Dave and Jake all trained this morning down at Good Life Caloundra there. So how'd you find that, mate? That was your first time at that gym?
Yeah, it was unreal actually. Good Life was awesome.
Yeah, chest and tries, and just it was good to get the crew back together again, and just it was another next level. We're gonna know about that for the next few days. So I think what do? We did bench, dumbbell inclines.
Dumbbell inclines, and then we did some flyers, opened the chest up a bit, some decline flyers, and then got into
dips in there as well.
Dips in there as well.
Yeah, so it was a bit of strength day. I think the reps were around 6s, and we really sort of test the boundaries that way, and it was good to lift some heavy things, and away we went. So I think last 7 days is a good thumbs up, especially post Australia Day, considering we had that quite, we always like to celebrate our country's day in fine form. So moving on, bring on the next 7 days.
Back on track now. No, it's always good to sort of train with you guys, and then just be reminded of what it's like to train with people that just get in the zone and get into it and get your workout done, and you just flogged by the end of it. Training with Paulie yesterday as well was awesome. Same again.
Mr. PBE.
That was awesome.
You snap him in half again, and vice versa.
We were both snapped in half. Yeah, it was awesome. You can't really lift my shoulders this morning. But,
Paulie, mate. Next time, I'm looking forward to our next one as well. So
so this morning had a train, and then went and trained a client, and then I'm straight here. Had no time to prep. I was flat out yesterday as well. I just went to Coles on the way here and put something together that fits my macros, and it's super easy, and most importantly, it is delicious. So
all right, let's have a look.
I'll show you. So meal 1.
I'll hold them up for you, buddy.
Yeah, cool. So we're going Uncle Ben's rice.
And Mexican.
90 seconds in the microwave, that's it. And then we chuck pulled pork on top. So we've got our carbs, our protein, And then of course, we'll go some hummus on top.
A bucket of hummus.
Then our fats.
Yeah.
So that'll be my first meal. Super, not the whole tub, just 20 grams.
20 grams.
Excited for that.
Yeah. So there you go, like 3 things. What? Put it together in 30 seconds and then microwave it.
Yep. That's it.
So there you go. So for those who are always saying they don't have time,
it's not
an excuse.
So
all right,
next
cool.
meal actually takes less time. This is just from home. So I've got 6 wheat bix, protein powder, peanut butter.
So 6 wheat bix.
Yeah.
Protein powder. Is it fast or slow?
I'm going fast.
Fast and peanut butter. So what do you do with it?
And then I just go cold water, mix it together, and you eat it up. It's just similar to oats, but actually it tastes so much better.
So show the guys. Rip it open. Show. Yeah, there we go.
Rip it open.
Look at that.
Here we go. So a bit of peanut butter, wheat bix, and then I've got my chalky protein in there. And it's surprisingly really good.
Yeah, okay.
I'm loving it, yeah.
So how many wheat bix do you do a day?
6 at the moment.
Imagine if you did 9, eh?
I got a lot of my clients on slow pro. The reason I'm going fast pro for myself is because I have to eat so much food, and I find that I need to go fast pro, otherwise I won't be able to eat all my meals on slow pro.
Tough gig, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, there you go. I think that's a perfect. I had the same experience. I think it was around Tuesday, and just shot straight into the supermarkets there. Grabbed some pulled pork, microwave rice.
Yeah.
I've always got hummus in the fridge here, so I know I've got that, and like spinach or beans or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's those times always that we get stuck and don't prep. So.
It's so easy. They got little packets of chicken and turkey, and you could, some of the hams are fine to use as well.
Yeah.
And then you got avocado as fat, so nice and easy, or a handful of nuts or something. So I don't really think there's.
Well, I think too, if you do get stuck with meal combinations, the time you do have a little bit of time to shop, go down a few of the aisles and start scanning a few foods in. Go have a look at the meats, etc. Because the more sort of diversity you have on those certain times, the more creative you can be when you're short of time as well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be the boring, dull and boring, just steamed vegetables and plain rice. It's it's changed a lot, provided within reason.
Absolutely. So this morning was what? Protein pancakes, I'm guessing.
Yeah, protein pancakes for me this morning. I've just hooked into my other meal. As you can always, I've got rice cakes all over me, so apologies. And I'm right into my rice noodles at the moment. I really like the rice noodles. Byron Bay chili and coconut chili. Have you had that?
I've tried the mango.
Coconut chili, game changer. Absolute game. Like not the whole lot, but just within your serving sizes there. And chicken mince, chili and garlic. I cook it in bulk. That's been a really nice one.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that. So
it's nice for everyone to know how much variety we get to eat and how excited we are for our meals. Because
there is, like, I just posted that little pickup about, I think it was the last 7 days of food, and it's like homemade pizzas, pancakes, all our different meals, and same, you're always telling me you need this.
Snapper and a few different things this week. It's been good.
So look out, Jakey Boy's got a nice little fish recipe coming up for Walk and Talk. So
that'll be good. Can't wait to share that. So mental toughness.
Mental toughness. Now this is, this is something Jake and I have experienced a whole new level in regards to mental toughness, and how much people underestimate their physical abilities due to this not basically matching. And this week, especially when I did a blog or a video on lever belt, knee wraps, and a couple of other accessories that you can use, on how much more people are not thinking about a potential injury happen, or a bit cautious, and absolutely just putting their mind on what task is ahead and what they need to achieve for their heavy lifts. And too often I think when it becomes to that point where the grind happens, where a rep's very hard, you're grinding it out, you're getting close to failure, is where a lot of people tend to switch off and think, it's that'll do, or just don't back themselves, or don't have that ability to really get the grind out. And unfortunately, if our body isn't taken to the extreme as far as stress or excess stress, it does not get the stimulus to be able to change and grow. In the end of the day, you've got to create a stressful environment or give your body a reason to change. And if you're always just keeping within that zone where things start to get tough, or the burn is starting to kick in, or the weight's starting to get tough, and there's those last couple of rep grinds, I see these boys doing 8 to 10 second reps trying to get their last one out, because they will not back down. They will not back down, because in the end of the day, you don't want to let your training partner down, and it's your body and your gains and your results. The only person, if you're going to pull yourself short, to point the finger at is yourself. So mental toughness is one where little things you'll see Jake and I do, as far as certain ways. You watch the tennis players, you watch all these athletes have got their own little routine they use to mentally switch themselves in a zone, so that they are thinking about nothing but getting the job done, and there is no element of doubt. There is not one bit of element of doubt, and especially if you've got all your safety gear on as well. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to be grind, but prepare yourself, because if you want to take your body from ordinary or average to extraordinary, these are the things you've got to start tapping into and understanding that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be comfortable, and you need to learn to really jump outside your comfort zone and be comfortable there, because there is not one session where we've walked away, I think in the last year and a half, thinking, oh yeah, that was okay. Even chest day today, I was dragging my knuckles out of there as per normal with these guys, and it was just insane. And I had not one bit of anything left. Even the tricep time and attention, I thought was going to be relatively easy. That wasn't either. But it's just learning to tap into all these avenues that you need to get that job done, because you've got to fuel your body so that you train on a full tank of fuel and a sub tank. You've got all this energy. You train harder. You recover quicker. You never doubt yourself through a set. You better yourself, and you progress each and every single week. That is a sign of progress right there, is if you're bettering yourself each and every time. And unfortunately, people just they lack that element of mental toughness, where things get tough and it is an ultimate grind, and each and every single rep is just, it's next level. And that's something where, if it means that you've got to get yourself in routine, get a training buddy who's on the same wavelength as well, but don't doubt yourself. Do not ever step under that bar or go into a set with any element of doubt, because that's the end right there.
Yeah.
So, have you got anything to touch on that?
Just with a client of mine, when I first seen him, he was doing 5-7 days a week, training fairly hard but not getting sore after sessions and stuff. And we pulled him back to 3-4 days a week, and he's just absolutely flogging himself for them 4 sessions. And then his progress has just been insane, because now he's pushing himself every session, and then he's sore after each session as well.
Yep.
So just getting in there and doing the job right, and I always say to him, I don't want to waste our time, or we're in here, we're going to go hard.
Yep.
Because some days, I'm not really feeling it. Well, let's not waste our time. We'll get it done. And then he always feels great afterwards, and then he's sore the next day. He's like, all right, cool, that was awesome.
Yeah, cool.
And it makes it easier the next time too, when you get in the habit of making sure whatever muscle you work is properly finished.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say that too? And this was an interesting one too, because obviously Leon put something up about overtraining and stress on the body. Is making sure that your recovery is optimal, so that when you do go in, you are going 110%. Because if you're training too consistently, or 7 days a week, there's no way that your body's got any time to recover, so that you've got your maximal recovery time to get in and train at 110%.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's perfect.
You can always rest after training.
Get in
there, get the job done, and put your heart and soul into every single session. The rewards are tough, but it's absolutely priceless as far as when you start seeing your body change and develop over time.
Absolutely. So the 2 exceptions to that would probably be any injuries and then sickness.
Yes.
Yeah. That's when you take your day off and you wait till you're fully recovered. sort of thing.
Or train at 70-80% sort of thing. Don't run yourself into the ground. Depends on what level of sickness, of course.
Depends what it is.
And then obviously injury. That's a whole different ball game again. But yeah, I think that's something I've seen, especially this week with a few people wrapping them up, getting the belts on. It's another level again. And I praise people who are able to tap into it and never back down.
Yeah, cool. I just wanted to touch on, because I've got a couple of clients that are going to Europe in about 8 weeks now, and I'm prepping them for that, and I had a chat to you about it as well. But the usual is to get someone shredded, getting them on low food, then they go on a holiday and you just blow up. Because you're used to low food, you go on a holiday, now you start pigging out, you look good the first day, and then you just sort of start blowing up because you're not used to that high food. So from my experience as well, going to Europe on super low food, and I blew up putting 13-14 kilos on.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That was actually after his first comp too.
Yeah, comp as well. So going from very low food straight to Europe, plenty of croissants and pizzas and everything like that. So it definitely wasn't the right way to do it. So what I'm doing now, we're slowly getting them on high food for it. Now they're saying they're keeping the same body fat, sort of slowly dropping as well, but slowly increasing their food so I can get their calories nice and high. They go on holidays and they plan to pig out here and there, and it's not going to affect their physique, and especially mentally as well. Not seeing themselves just go poof and blow out after being on low food. So I think that's a really important thing to go or consider, especially if you got a holiday planned sort of later in the year. So what do you think on that? So.
I speak from experience, following up what Jake said. He couldn't have said it any better. I went over to Bali. I had a 11-week diet period where I got down to I think it was about 86 kilos or something like that. And within 2 weeks after that diet period, and I felt a bit lost because I didn't have a goal, and rather enjoyed myself quite regularly. I think it was within 2 or 3 weeks I'd put on 10 kilos.
Yeah, nice.
And then from there I said, no, something's got to change. And I had about 44 days it was till Bali. So got straight back into a calorie deficit and dieted for 44 days, hardcore. Was on pretty low food by the time I went over to Bali. Unfortunately, what happens within the body metabolically is that everything starts to slow down, and I always resort back to speaking about a car. You're like a 4-cylinder or even a scooter or a backup generator. Your body's just not firing on all cylinders. And the thing too, when you're on such low food and you go over and start overindulging, which I did, I think especially for the first 4 days, I went over absolutely shredded to the bone. It was great. I could take my shirt off for the first 2 days. And then honestly, it took 4 days and I had not one line in my body. I was holding so much fluid, the body fat was going on, and it was within 10 days, I think it was 6 to 8 kilos I put on. And unfortunately, when you're dieting for such a long time, as I was saying before, your body is primed for fat storage because it thinks it's in a time of starvation or lack of food. And it will take advantage of any excess food that it can't digest and absorb or utilize then and there and put it in its reserve fuel tanks as body fat. And unfortunately, this is the biggest mistake a lot of people make, especially going for holidays. So I agree 110% with what Jake's doing with his crew. I've got a few other clients that we're mentoring that are prepping for holidays going through, and I'm doing exactly the same. It's basically a form of reverse dieting where we're slowly charging their metabolism back up so they're like a supercharged V8. And when they're overseas, obviously they can lash out and splurge a little bit more without any, how could you say, huge weight fluctuations or chronic damage control when they get back. So I think making sure that metabolism is at full capacity and your food is as high as possible if you're prepping
Yeah.
for holidays next time. I will never do that. I will never go on holidays while strict dieting or on low food ever again, because that mentally, and for you too, I know coming back from Europe, regardless of our level of mental toughness, it still absolutely screws with you. And that took me, honestly, 8 to 10 day trip, took me a good 3 months to get back on track.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really important one for people to know, which will go on our next topic in a minute. But yeah, going where you know you're going to overindulge and there's going to be alcohol and lots of food, the worst thing possible you could do is be on extremely low food.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on challenges, and then finishing challenges, and then the headspace you're in afterwards, and where do you go sort of from there?
Challenges, I think the big thing as well is why I wanted to touch on this topic is because one, everyone's doing one this time of year. They're all, kids are back to school, and they might be feeling a bit flat or not themselves after a chronic overindulging period through the holidays. And you know, we've all done it before. You know, you see the 6-week challenge, 30-day challenge, 60-day challenge, 10-week challenge. There's all challenge. You see it happening everywhere. The thing is, it's great to, challenges are great because it creates a community. You've got a goal, but I think the biggest problem people have is that following a challenge, there's no post-challenge care. Would you?
Yeah.
There's nothing. What do you do after you've been dieting for such a long period of time? But the other thing too is that while these people have been calorie restricted or dieting for such a long period of time, they've normally got an event straight after it, and then something else following straight after it, and they've just been calorie deprived for such a long period of time. And what did we say about prepping for holidays? This is prepping or priming your body for being the ultimate fat storage machine. And unfortunately, this is where a lot of things physically, not only that, mentally, it all comes undone, because people go, oh no, you can't put on that much body fat in such a short period of time. You know what? We've both experienced it. We've both seen it time and time again. And it's basically chronic damage control, where it's this huge calorie influx on short periods of time. All this body fat goes on in such a short period of time, but you're still eating the same amount of calories, but you're carrying anywhere from 5 to 10 kilos more. And then you try and calorie restrict again, and it's hard to shift the weight. So post-challenge care is probably more important than the challenge itself, because you've got to understand metabolically, again, you're running like that little scooter or the backup generator. Your body's not firing on all cylinders because it's basically in a survival state. Its job is to keep you alive. So if calories have been depleted for so long and you've been doing all this exercise, it's got to do what it can to keep you alive. Yeah, so post-challenge, guys, this is where probably it is the most important component that you need to understand, is slowly over time introduce food back in, watch the cravings, keep your eyes on the prize, maybe reset or refocus on another goal, but just be patient, because if you aren't, you'll experience what we've just discussed in relation to huge weight fluctuations, body fat gain, different body fat set point. So just be patient and really understand that when you are calorie restricted and you do have events coming up, just to be very, very careful at that point in time. So I hope that sort of gives you a bit of a scope on why we're so passionate about it, because we're dealing with people who are really struggling after these particular long phases of dieting, or people dieting for such chronic long periods of time, or crash dieting, and we're left to try and re-educate them and tell them patience is a big one as well.
Yeah, so that's it. So what are your plans for this week coming? Training on track?
Yeah, everything on track. I think I've definitely got it out of my system Australia Day. I don't have much time left as far as being a little bit more flexible with my weekends. I think come April, I'm always talking come April, it's basically cold turkey with everything. I don't want anything to get in the road of my end goal. And so I'm just going to sort of not chronically push the boundaries, but just learn to manipulate as best I can to give me a bit more freedom and flexibility before real comp prep starts. So,
yeah, awesome. Yeah. Sounds good. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for this week. And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Have we got any little pointer that you want to give the crew for this week?
For this week, maybe just writing down your goals again. So whether it's your weight you want to hit for bench press or squats, and just making sure you hit that target. So your mental toughness side of things comes in.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like you talked about before. So if you've set it for a certain weight, just make sure you do it. If you come a rep or two short, just make sure you do an extra little set just to make sure you get them reps out. Yeah. So that'd be probably, well, that's my goal
cool.
for this week anyway.
I think another thing too is a really cool one that we get our mentor clients to do is weight hips and waist the same time every week.
Yep.
That's another indication there. Again, weight, people hold too much value to the scales. It's not a true indicator. It's an indicator of some sort of progress. So weight, hips, waist, that will sort of get will determine a lot as far as how your food and your training's going. Same time every week, and I think that's probably something you guys should add in if you haven't already.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, good. Cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. That's weekly wrap number 4.